Hey, I'm back, continuing my Friday the 13th reviews with Friday the 13th, the remake. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting's horrible in here. Um, this movie was made in 2009. It was directed by the guy that directed um, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot, whatever the hell you want to call it, years ago. Um, the Michael Bay production. Stars Jared Padalecki, Daniel Panabaker, Aaron Yu, Amanda Rigetti, Travis Van Winkle, and Derek Mears as Jason. Now, this movie, I talked about it a little bit in my best to worst video, or worst to best, whatever the hell you want to call it. I liked it when it first came out. I thought the beginning kind of was pretty sweet. But the more I watched it, the more I just disliked it over the years. It's got cool elements to it. I mean, it makes a little bit more sense, but it also takes away kind of like the mystique about Jason away. If he's like walking around in these tunnels and shit, then that kind of takes away from like the supernatural aspect. And I kind of dug the supernatural aspect, like in Jason Takes Manhattan, where he was like basically teleporting in that movie. I mean, it was silly, but it was still kind of cool because like you couldn't get away from him. You know what I mean? So it was like, I don't know. I just added to it. I thought a little bit. I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah, this movie basically centers around some kids in the beginning. They go out in the woods or whatever. This one kid's telling a story about Jason's mom and that Jason lives in the woods and blah blah blah. Same shit as normal. But yeah, I mean, and then Jason shows up. He's so it basically combines like the first three Friday the 13th movies into one. And I just thought I just felt like they were trying to cram too much into this movie. Um, I wouldn't have liked to have seen like a reboot with like another Mrs. Voorhees, because yeah, I don't think you can redo like certain movies like that where they're just classics and they just shouldn't be fucked with. You couldn't find anybody that would do as good as Betsy Palmer. I mean, maybe you could, but it just wouldn't feel the same. They don't really have any special features on this edition of it. It's the killer cut, and I don't really like it because it doesn't really have any. It's got explore the rebirth of Jason Voorhees for a new movie-going era, which is like a 3-minute thing. So it was stupid. They had additional slash scenes on here, which I thought them were all dumb. Overall, I like parts of it, but I will say one thing. It's got a lot of good-looking girls in this movie. The girl in the beginning there, she's pretty hot. Shows her chesticles off there. She's pretty cool. I always like, and yeah, but I won't talk about that too much. But yeah, as far as this movie goes, it's okay. It's just not one of my favorites at all. I definitely have to put it on the lower list. But yeah, so that's all I got to say about that movie. So that'll be the end of my Friday the 13th reviews. If anybody wants to see any more or hear my thoughts on anything of the Friday the 13th series, you can throw a comment down below and I'll get back to you. Peace.